G'day guys, and welcome to this third battle in the first War of Armageddon, my narrative apocalypse battle report series. Today I'm joined by Dalton from the Risky Rollers, who pilots the Grey Knights offensive as they attempt to banish Angron and his demonic legions from the planet of Armageddon once and for all. There's some truly epic moments in this battle, so make sure you stick around to the end, and with that being said, let's just jump straight into the video.
Look for the blood god.
G'day guys, welcome to this third battle in the first War for Armageddon. I have Dalton from Risky Rollers here with me today, and we're going to keep this momentum going of this epic series of apocalypse battle reports.
It's pretty sweet. The prognosticators of the Grey Knights have divined that there's a demonic incursion happening, so they've made full speed from Terra, or from their little base out in the solar system that no one's supposed to know about, all the way out here to Armageddon to try and get in front of this demonic incursion. Angron has manifested, so with some of the remaining Imperial forces, we've set a trap, going to lure him into it, and see if we can bring down the big man himself.
And we all know how Angron loves running headfirst into a trap, so we'll see how it works out for the big man. We've got a guard contingent, some Space Wolves, and some Grey Knights, a really massive Imperial force, but they are going up against arguably one of the largest Khorne invasions that has ever happened. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether or not they can cut the head off the snake, as it were, banish Angron back to the warp, and in a way where he's not going to just be reborn in blood. They're going to go in for a hard banishment in this, so it should be interesting. We'll jump over to the army showcases now, and then we'll talk about the mission special rules that we've got set up for you today, and the different things that we're going to be doing with the armies to make sure that this is as exciting and epic a conflict as possible. Alrighty guys, let's go through this absolutely apocalyptic chaos force that's going to spill blood on Armageddon in the name of Khorne. First up, we have our fearless leader, Angron. He's going to be leading these world eaters into slaughter, and he's going to be doing absolutely massive amounts of carnage throughout this epic battle report series. And he's going to be leading, let's just go left to right, we've got 100 Khorne berserkers. Chain axes ready to go. We've got bolt pistols in there as well in case they're feeling like they're up for the firefight. We've got a whole bunch of different lords and characters among them. We've got Khan the Betrayer, Gorechild whirling. He's ready to get stuck into the melee, and he is supported by an entourage of different characters here. We've got Masters of Executions. We've got Dark Apostles. We've got Chaos Lords, we've got Possessed Lords, we've got all kinds of crazy guys there ready to lead those berserkers into the battle. Then we've got 8, no shorter than 8, rhinos, and these are going to be used to deliver those Khorne berserkers into the thick of battle so that they can get stuck into their opponents and do as much carnage as Khorne berserkers were bred to do. We've got a Vindicator in there for good measure so that we can blast that siege cannon and hopefully do some damage to the enemy vehicles and things of the like. Then, just in case the rhinos weren't enough transport capacity to get these blood-soaked maniacs across the tabletop, we have 5 Chaos Land Raiders. That's right, 5 Land Raiders ready to be launching various troops across the battlefield and also laying down firepower with their Soul Shatter las cannons. That's going to be really exciting to see. But not all transport can happen from the ground, so we've got a bit of an aerial support element to the army today. So we've got 2 Charybdis Assault Claws. These are going to be dropping that alpha strike, delivering berserkers into the heart, into the thick of the battle really early on in the piece. And then we have a Dreadclaw as well, Khan's personal Dreadclaw transport. He wants to be the first person to make planetfall in any conflict, and he wants to be the first one to spill blood on any world that the World Eaters invade. So Khan has his own personal Dreadclaw drop pod. And then we also have 2 Storm Eagle transports. These are going to be able to deliver those World Eaters behind enemy lines, deliver them into the thick of the battle. And then, of course, it wouldn't be a planetary invasion of an Astartes-based army without a Thunderhawk. It's got that big volcano cannon on the top. It's going to be blasting, vehicles into pieces whilst laying down las cannon, heavy bolter fire, and delivering just a plethora of blood-soaked maniacs into the thick of the battle. To support this aerial, assault and make sure that enemy aircraft don't intervene too much, we have a couple of Helldrakes. They're going to be sort of running flanking missions and making sure that these crazy World Eaters are able to get into the thick of the battle via the aerial superiority. We've got a few other interesting elements here. We go into our war machines. So we've got a couple of Mauler Fiends there. We've got a Blood Slaughterer, and we have a Venom Crawler. This sort of little entourage of really close combat-oriented demon engines is led by a Lord Discordant on Hellstalker. So he's customized these various demon engines to suit his needs, and they roll around with him as a little nugget of just blood-soaked, demon-infused metal that's going to be absolutely crazy on the tabletop, and is something that strikes fear into the heart of these Imperial citizens. But they're not the prize of his demonic engine collection. The prize of his collection are the 3 Greater Brass Scorpions. So these are the pinnacle of World Eaters, infusion with demon and machine, and it's going to be an absolute bloodbath when these guys are running around with their big siege claws, just ripping things apart whilst laying down firepower from their heavy cannons. Going to be real cool there. We've got a Fallen Renegade Chaos Knight. He's there with his twin chainglaves, and he's going to be ripping things apart, just doing absolutely crazy amounts of damage, and proving that not all knights are noble in their, in their desires. This guy's going in, he's looking for blood, he's looking for carnage, and he's looking to destroy as opposed to uphold his chivalric oaths of the loyalists. Then we go into some more big demon engines, some really exciting guys here. We've got 2 Kaitans, or Lord of Skulls. So these guys, again, one of the prizes of that Lord Discordant's collection of demonically infused engines. These guys are laying down heavy firepower, and they're also going in with the biggest chain axes that World Eaters could imagine. They're going to be really interesting on the tabletop. But to round out that demon engine collection, we have a few demonically infused Decimators. So they're the last little bits and pieces of the Lord Discordant's demonically infused Astartes-based demon engines, and they've got their soul burner petards, and they're going to be ripping apart reality itself, doing some seriously crazy stuff. We also have some more subtly, less intentionally designed demon-infused Astartes in the form of 5 Hellbrutes. Now these guys are a bit of a side effect of what happens when you piss off a World Eater and strap him inside a machine, and instead of letting him die with his honor, you tell him you must keep on slaughtering. And the warp-infused chassis of that previously known as a Dreadnought becomes a Hellbrute, and he goes in and just goes absolutely crazy. The fuse of demon engine and marine and vehicle becomes an absolute maniac of fire frenzy on the tabletop. They're going to be really exciting. And then we have their more traditional Horus Heresy era counterparts in the Contemptor Dreadnoughts. Now these guys are a little bit less demonically infused and a little bit less insane. However, they are still World Eaters after all, so you've got to look out for them. They're going to be getting stuck in with their chain axes and doing what World Eaters do best. Their big brother is with them there. We have the Leviathan Dreadnought. He's got his Butcher Cannons, and he's got another nice big chain axe, as all World Eaters like to do so. We've got a couple of the old box Dreadnoughts behind him there. We've got, these guys are a bit of a Juggernaut infusion, where they've taken the concept of the Hellbrute and they've mixed it up with some different components to make some really exciting little demon engines there. To round out the armored component of this crazy World Eaters army, we have 3 Predators. Now they're going to be laying down fire support. Their main purpose is to pop open vehicles so that the berserkers can go in and rip the occupants apart and spill their blood. We don't want any armor getting in the way of bloodshed, so these vehicles are there to do that. And of course, at the center of this magnificent World Eaters army, we have the gigantic and dominating presence of a Reaver-class Chaos Titan. He's got his big chain cannon, he's got his missile launchers, and then he's got a power fist capable of punching holes through siege walls. He's going to be doing massive amounts of damage, no doubt. And his void shields should hopefully keep him alive long enough that he can bring those guns to bear. In front of them, we have some Chaos Spawn. Now, these guys, you'll notice, are a bit of a fusion between Berserker, 8-bound, and Spawn. And basically, as you will know, the 8 cage is where Berserkers go if they want to be exalted into an 8-bound position. However, should they fail the trail of the 8 cage, the trials of the 8 cage, they will become a Chaos Spawn. And that's what has happened to these unfortunate souls today. Then in front of them, we've got some Bikers. Now, these guys are Berserkers that really don't want to even have to deal with walking into battle. They don't want to have to sit in the back of a Rhino on the way into battle. They want to get in there as fast as possible, so they've jumped on these bikes and they're flying up the table, ready to get stuck into that melee and do that damage early in the game. In front of them, we have 10 Red Butchers Terminators. Now, these guys are the pinnacle of World Eaters' sanity, as much as you can call it that, where they're strapped into armor, they're protecting themselves, they don't just want to throw themselves away like a lot of World Eaters do. These guys want to live so that they can spend as long as possible claiming as many skulls as possible for their chosen deity. Then in front of them, we have the exciting newest addition to the World Eaters force. We have the 8-bound. So we've got 3 units there of 6 8-bound. These guys are ones who have entered the 8 cage and have survived. They've come out with the demonic infusion and the power of 8 bloodletters surging through their veins. They're going in and they're doing essentially what a normal possessed would do, but World Eaters style. But not only have we got those 3 units of 6 8-bound, we also have 3 units of 3 exalted 8-bound. Now, these are guys that have gone into the 8 cage and not only survived, but they've actually achieved victory over those demons, which has given them an even stronger sense and a stronger sense of, unity with those demons, and they're able to wield their power more effectively, making these guys absolutely terrifying monsters on the tabletop. Then we've got 2 units of 10 for a total of 20 Warp Talons. Now, these guys are World Eaters with jetpacks strapped onto them, and they've foregone any pretense of ranged warfare for twin lightning claws, and they are just going in there. They're not even trying to claim skulls. They just want to rip things apart. Their goal is to go in Wolverine style and just hack and slash and spill blood everywhere that they can, with no intent of leaving anything left behind them except for a trail of blood. And they want to do it as fast as possible, hence the jetpacks there. And they also have a small amount of demonic infusion in them as well, just to make sure that they go in there properly blood-soaked and properly thirsty for blood. What else have we got here? So now, the very last part of our mortals is we've got a few units of jackals down there. Their primary purpose is going around and collecting the skulls that have been spilled and claimed by the World Eaters. They're trying to earn their favor. They're trying to get themselves into the Astartes ranks. They're trying to get themselves demonic favor. And the way that they do that is they go around and they collect the skulls that have been claimed by the World Eaters. Then we've got a few units of your traditional Chaos Space Marine possessed. These guys are not quite the 8-bound, but they are still World Eaters and they are still possessed, so they're going to be doing serious amounts of damage and spilling a lot of blood for Khorne. We got a Dark Apostle up there. We've got a few demonic heralds, some blood masters and the such, and they are leading the demonic component of today's army. So we've got, I believe it's 7 units of 10 bloodletters over here. These guys are the battle line of the World Eaters' demonic attachment. So these guys are going in, they're killing, they're tearing reality apart and emerging through these demonic rifts in the warp and in reality. And they're basically going in there, they're claiming skulls, and they're in competition, direct competition with the mortals. So even though they share the same goal, they're both racing to see who can achieve it faster. Is it something the mortals are going to excel at, or is this something that is better left for the direct demonic, manifestation of Khorne's will? We've also got down here a whole bunch of flesh hounds. There's like 40 of them there. And these guys are the scouts. They're the front line of the demonic incursion. You'll know that the demonic incursion is about to get really insane when the flesh hounds arrive. And they're also Khorne's dedicated hunters that will smell out enemy psykers. They're there to sift through the warp, find the enemy psykers, and that's where they strike. Because Khorne hates that cowardly wizardry. He's all about brute strength and honor in combat. And the flesh hounds pinpoint their targets and make sure that the World Eaters are able to come in full force and hunt down anybody using magic instead of using their honor and their will. We've got some demon princes in here. We've got some of these are ex-Astartes demon princes that have ascended to the ranks through deeds performed as a World Eater, and then some of them are more demonic based. Perhaps they were previously jackals that have ascended into those ranks, or other high-ranking mortals that have become demon princes. However, they were non-Astartes. So as you can see, they haven't got the power armor and the like, and they haven't got the wings, so they're not fully ascended to the same level. But nonetheless, they're going in and doing serious amounts of damage and spilling blood in favor of Khorne. Then we have a cavalry component. Now, this is something that the World Eaters forces use as a bit of a spear tip, particularly when they've got that heavy demonic incursion. And this is a bit of a hybrid between the World Eaters and the demons, where we've got things like the Lord Invocatus, and we've got a few different Khorne lords on juggernauts. And this is sort of symbolizing the unity between the World Eaters and their demonic allies, where their demonic allies have gifted the mount of a juggernaut to a mortal to symbolize the unity in these forces. And these Lord Invocatus and Chaos Lords on juggernauts are leading an armada of juggernaut-mounted bloodletters, also known as blood crushers, and they're basically going in there again to stab, slash, hack their way through the enemy lines and charge in, ramming speed, stamping their way through everything as a stampede of blood and gore. They are supported by a few skull cannons. Now, this is a demon engine unit that has a cannon that fires piping hot skulls dripping in blood at the enemy. So as we claim their skulls and as those skulls are collected, they are fired back at you to not only do massive amounts of damage, but also destroy the enemy morale. When your best mate's skull has just been fired at you like a weapon, it's pretty hard to continue fighting, and that's what these skull cannons are all about. They also have the Juggernaut mount, so they're going to be doing charges, they're going to be damaging things with their trampling feet, and just generally being an absolute menace to deal with. We've also got 3 of the Soul Grinders. Now, these are Soul Grinders dedicated to Khorne. This is where basically a Bloodthirster gets banished to the warp, and he's so impatient that he doesn't want to wait for his full form to rematerialize. So he basically makes a bargain with the Lord of the Forges and bargains to have his remaining manifestation bound to the carapace of a demon engine. So he's half demon engine, half Bloodthirster, so that he can get back into the battle sooner than he otherwise would. And then should he claim enough skulls and build up enough power and favor, he will then get his full form back. So we've got 3 of those guys. Really cool models. I love these guys. But I don't love them quite as much as a traditional Bloodthirster. You can't really, because Bloodthirsters are one of the greatest models in the Warhammer 40k collection, and that's why I have 9 of them in today's battle. So as you can see, we've got Scarbrand up the front here. He's the defamed Bloodthirster who was so crazily angry one day that he decided to actually take a shot at Khorne himself. And Khorne was not too happy, as you could imagine, so he yeeted Scarbrand across the planet that they were on, across the demon world. Scarbrand did a bunch of laps of the planet, finally crashing, shredding his wings to pieces, and instead of allowing him to repair and re-manifest like a normal Bloodthirster, Khorne said, no, you need to wear those wings as a badge of shame, and you need to wear those scars. You are branded with them, and you will not manifest again until I say so. So he's in Khorne's naughty books, and he's here today to try to regain that honor by killing as many of these Imperials as he possibly can to show Khorne that he is worthy of that spot at Khorne's side. What else have we got here? We've got a whole bunch of Bloodthirsters. So we've got 9 in total. You'll see there's an array of different characters in here with different weapon loadouts. Each one of these is a leader of an entire army in his own right. However, for the purposes of invading Armageddon and getting the job done, they have decided to put their differences aside. They're going to follow Angron into battle and operate like his personal bodyguard, his personal entourage, and they are going to assist this favored member of Khorne's legions and make sure that they're doing massive amounts of damage. These guys are going to come into massive, handy positions in these battles when it comes down to taking those big targets. There's only so much you can do with a chain axe. However, with a great axe of Khorne, a demonic infused, imbued weapon, you can shred through tanks and those bigger targets like they are butter. Then we've got Angrath himself. Now this is Khorne's biggest and strongest general. He's not necessarily the smartest or the best leader, but he is an absolute bully, and he's one of the ones that Khorne sends in when he just needs the job done. He's a big bad guy on the tabletop, and he does immense amounts of damage in favor of Khorne, and it's going to be really exciting to see what he can do into the various armies we have arraigned in this battle report. And last, but absolutely not least, we have Be'lakor. Now, you might be thinking, why is Be'lakor in a full Khorne-themed army? And because Be'lakor himself is actually unmarked. He's dedicated to all 4 Chaos Gods simultaneously. However, that's a very difficult position to be in because you have 4 different bosses that you need to impress. And in this instance, Be'lakor has joined the battle because he's trying to remind Khorne that he is worthy of Khorne's favor and that he can assist Khorne when Khorne needs something done. And that's what's happening in today's battle, is Khorne has decided that there is something that desperately needs to be done, and that is that Armageddon must fall. And that's what we're here to do today. So that's the totality of the World Eaters and Khorne Demons forces that are going to be engaging in battle on Armageddon. So yeah, let's get stuck into the other armies for today's battle.
G'day guys, I am here to present the Grey Knights that are coming in on the First War of Armageddon, led by the Brother Captain Taramar Aurelian. So this is really cool, massive narrative battle report. The Grey Knights being that sort of pivotal 11th hour coming in to try and banish Angron and all the demons that are ravaging the planet at the request of Logan Grimnar. So the force I'm bringing today is a strike force. It's not entirely Terminators. It's got a bunch of other Grey Knight bits and pieces around, but it's really highly mobile, really flexible force coming in to just, destroy a bunch of demons, banish Angron, and just make sure that no one knows anything about Chaos, and there was no Chaos taint on Armageddon. Absolutely not. So leading it is Brother Captain Taramar Aurelian, prophesied to die on the world named for the end of days, and he has his command squad with a standard bearer, a librarian, apothecary, and chaplain. Then the bulk of the force is 5 squads of strike marines. These guys are just super flexible Grey Knights. They're expert demon hunters, as are all the Grey Knights, of course, and they're just there to do any of those little jobs, just clean up, be the bulk of the force. They're pretty cool. I then have two squads of 10 interceptors. These are the teleporty, jumping around warp guys. Again, super flexible. These will be teleporting across the board. They'll be hitting whichever demons need hitting when they need it. Really flexible, really mobile, great for any sort of insertion force. Then the core of the force, the big brick at the center. I've got 3 units of 5 Grey Knight Terminators. These guys are unshiftable. They walk in, everything bounces off their armor. Absolutely fantastic psychic abilities and things they can bounce around. Backing them up are 2 units of 5 Paladins. These are the actually even better Terminators, like the real Grey Knight veterans. These guys are pretty sweet. They've got a bunch of heavy weapons and other bigger, Grey Knight fancy Cybolt ammunition things that they do. They can all be riding around. I've got a Land Raider. This one's got all of the las cannons and stuff and all of the psychic warding that the Grey Knights get to do, so I can ride some Terminators and characters around, which would be pretty cool. Backing them up with some heavy firepower is the Purgation Squad. These guys are the incinerator-wielding heavy firepower of the Grey Knights. They get to walk in, use their psychic powers to buff up their weapons, and then just blast away and obliterate demons with psychic fire and all that kind of stuff. I've got a Dreadnought as well. This one has the las cannons and fist. It's a venerable Dreadnought, of course, because it's Grey Knights, and of course it's Psycho, because Grey Knights. It's going to be wandering around casting psychic powers out of its little boxy face, just banishing demons all over the place. Then I have a Grandmaster Dread Knight. Pretty sweet. He's got the sword and the Psy Cannons, and he's going to be doing Nemesis Grandmaster things. He has to teleport all over the place, chop up demons, potentially going into some of those Crew Praetoria and really rinsing some of Angron's bodyguard. And then another Dread Knight, this time just a regular one with the hammer. Again, a bit of heavy firepower as well as a bit of combat prowess. And then one of the dropships I'll be coming in on is this lovely Grey Knight's Storm Raven, dropping in Dreadnoughts and Marines all across the field. Again, just leaning really heavily into that mobile insertion force sort of feel. Now, of course, as I mentioned earlier, Taramar Aurelian is the one leading it. Try to keep it fairly lore accurate. He'll be able to go in there. He's destined to fight Angron on this planet, so we'll hopefully get to see how that pans out and how the rest of the force deals with it. And then, of course, presuming all things go well, the Emperor willing, we'll then just make sure that no one even knows anything about chaos on this planet, because chaos doesn't exist and there was nothing over here. That's the Grey Knights, and I'm really keen to bring it to the First War of Armageddon.
Alrighty guys, so the unique mission that we're going to be playing today in order to tell the epic tale of the First War of Armageddon is that the Grey Knights have set up this trap and their goal is to banish Angron. We all know that Angron has this tendency to be reborn in blood, so they don't want to just kill him. They actually need to do something very particular, very special, and that is a ritualistic banishment of this demon Primarch.
Because if we just go all out over the top and kill him, he's just going to pop back up somewhere else and be a bigger problem later.
Yeah. So, Dalton, do you want to run us through the mechanics of how we've decided this is going
Absolutely. So the way we would set this up is that I still need to try and do damage to Angron, because a full strength Angron is going to be pretty difficult to banish. So the idea is I need to do wounds to him but not kill him. If I kill him, he'll just reapparate in the next turn and show up again on the battlefield. So what I need to do is chip damage down, and then with Grey Knights surrounding him, I need to then roll 2 dice. If I roll higher than the wounds remaining, I've successfully banished him. If I don't, he's fine. He's probably pretty mad, actually, and he carries on slaughtering us.
Yeah. So my objective in this game is essentially just going to be to slaughter as many things as possible, preferably as many of these Grey Knights as possible, to prevent them from being able to do this ritual and banish Angron. But ultimately, I'm just happy to be here killing things.
Yep.
What's your sort of strategy on how you're going to go about banishing Angron?
I mean, basically, it's going to be try and free up some space around him so I can get some strike force, get some Grey Knights from the strike force in there, do a bunch of damage, try and sort of tempo out how much damage I'm putting into him.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to throw some stuff right in close to him. When I get too close, he'll heroically intervene anyway, because there's going to be so much on the board that I'm not going to really have anywhere to not be in combat. So I need to make sure I throw in, do some damage to him, not so much that I kill him, get a bunch of Grey Knights in there, do the psychic action to banish him, and hopefully just clear off all the demons off the planet.
That's going to be really interesting, trying to make sure that you just weaken him up enough that you can capture him.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of Pokemon, where you had to get him down to low health before you threw the Pokeball at him.
Hey, look, I'm not playing Necrons today.
So that's the mission that we've got laid out for you. And then in order to facilitate this, we've come up with a couple of special rules for our armies. So for the World Eaters, because we're going with a bit of a Khorne Demonkin almost style army, where we're going to have World Eaters and Khorne Demons, we've basically just said that they're going to all share the same keywords.
Yep.
So, for example, Angron's rerolls will apply to Bloodthirsters and the like, because, of course, it's a joint force. Whoops. And in addition to that, we're going to have the Blood Surge move is going to be applying to things like Bloodthirsters and stuff. So
Pretty worrying, actually.
if you do any damage to those Bloodthirsters, they're going to get to do a D6 move and get into combat, just to really emphasize the absolute bloodlust that's going to be taking place on the table.
Yeah. And for the Grey Knights, because we're designing them to be like this interdiction strike force, and be teleporting onto the field and doing everything they can to just bring down Angron, we've got a homing beacon up here in the center. So any Grey Knights that are killed or destroyed get immediately placed back into Deep Strike, and they can appear anywhere on the board normally, i.e. more than 9 inches away, or as long as they're wholly within 24 inches of this homing beacon, they can appear as close as they want outside of engagement range of any of the demons in my movement phase.
Yeah.
So I should just have a lot of Grey Knights coming in, bringing down the Hammer of Titan on the demons.
It's really going to make it interesting, because there's going to be some situations where killing the units isn't necessarily going to be good for them, because it means that they're going to come back at full strength right in the center of the table.
Yeah.
But we all know that Angron is not renowned for his strategy. He's prioritizing the slaughter. So I get the sneaking suspicion that we're going to be killing him anyway. So cool, that's the mission special rule, both army special rules, and the narrative laid out. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump over into deployment now, and we're going to see what this trap that the Imperium sets up is going to look like. Alrighty, Dalton, run us through this trap the Imperium has set up for Angron.
Alright, so we know Angron's coming this way with all his world eaters and all the demons, so we want to make sure there's a nice juicy target, a lot of bodies, a lot of blood that he can spill. So we've packed in as many bodies as we can into this little readout that we've managed to put together. So anchoring it is a bunch of armor from the Imperial Guard. We've got the Bane Hammer right in front of you there and the Storm Hammer on the other side mirroring it. We've got 2 Manticores tucked into the middle, a couple of Leman Russ Executioners and a couple of Leman Russ Demolishers holding out those flanks, with a bunch of Armored Sentinels in the middle there just to add a bit of extra firepower. Ringing the outside then, we have a couple of platoons of Imperial Guardsmen dug in on each of these Bastion readouts, as well as some heavy weapon squads backing them up. And then all the way along the outside we have the Space Wolves. They sent what forces they could spare, drop podding in some Blood Claws, teleporting in some Terminators, some Long Fangs, as well as a couple of Dreadnoughts. And you'll see that they're on the outside there, just trying to sort of almost act as a roadblock so that they can't get to the Guard and to the tanks straight away. And that's pretty much it. The Bulgarin on the outside holding the flanks. We've got a couple of characters scattered around, a bunch of the, not Thunderwolves, the wolves from the...
Fenrisian Wolves?
Fenrisian Wolves, that's the ones from the Space Wolves. They're to sort of sally forth and try and slow down and move block a bunch of the demons coming in. And basically we're going to try and hold that as long as possible. The Grey Knights are just about here, ready to teleport in. We want to draw Angron in, get him engaged and sort of bogged down in here, so we can teleport in, cut him down and banish him properly back to the warp.
We've got this cheeky little command squad here. The gentlemen have set up the teleport homer in there, ready to bring forth those Grey Knights. Alright, let's get into the World Eater's response and let's fill out the rest of this board.
Alright, has Angron taken the bait?
He has certainly taken the bait. So the Imperium has presented itself on a nice little platter here, and Angron, being the greedy man he is, could not resist the temptation of going in for that blood. So what we've got is an absolutely apocalyptic incursion of demons and world eaters are ready to go in. So we've got multiple brass scorpions. We've got one over here, one over here, one over here. We've got multiple Lords of Skulls, one up that end, one over this end. We've got Khitan demon engines. We've got Helldrakes flying around. We've got Mauler Fiends running in. We've got Angron over here. He's leading the charge of his Bloodthirster entourage slash bodyguard slash squad of groupies. You'll notice a little Scarbrand in there as well, being a cheeky bugger following Angron around. We've got Soul Grinders, so Khorne-infused Soul Grinders, 3 of. We've also got Angrath leading his little squad of Bloodthirsters. How often do you see Bloodthirsters rolling in squads? It's only on battle reports like this. So they're going in on this side. We've got the big Charybdis Assault Claws. They're coming in and bringing hosts of World Eaters and Khorne Berserkers into the fray. We've got an a cavalry column coming down here. So a whole bunch of Blood Crushers, Bloodletters riding their Juggernauts, supported by some Skull Cannons for fire support on the way in. And we've also got demonically infused Forge Fiends, 3 of them here, just to lay down that fire and hopefully pop open some various guard tanks and the like. We've also got a ton of Bloodletters, a ton of Fleshhounds, a ton of Jackals. They've come out. They're celebrating the success of the World Eaters so far in this campaign. They're emboldened and they're running into that combat. We've got Land Raiders with Terminators inside of them. We've got some Red Butchers there. We've got Khorne Berserkers littered around the table as well. Just an absolutely insane wave of blood-soaked carnage. There's Obliterators here with their Obliterator flesh metal weapons. They're going to be laying down some fire support as well. And I think that more or less covers it. Oh, we've got some bikes, berserkers on bikes charging in. We've got Hellbrutes as well. We've got the Leviathan and Contemptor Dreadnought Talon. They're celebrating their success from their last campaign, and they're going in with that blood-soaked fury. They're going to rip those blood claws apart. It's just an absolutely epic wave that's all coming in to get that teleport Homer and hopefully try to stop Angron from being banished. Alright guys, rolling off for first turn. World Eaters rolling the red dice. We roll a 1. That's not a good start.
Going with the silver dice for the Imperium and the Grey Knights.
Ooh,
also
a 1. Okay.
Alright, let's see what happens here.
Saved. Oh. Another 1 for real?
A 6, there we go.
Alright, good luck, my friend. Alrighty, Dalton. Not the longest movement phase, but let us know what you did.
There's not a lot of space to move, but basically the Space Wolves are all charging out to meet the invading World Eaters and Demons. All the Blood Claws and the Terminators went full pelt forwards, eyeing up targets. Both Dreadnoughts as well, charging into opponents of roughly equal stature. We've got the Bulgrin from the Imperial Guard also moving forward to try and sort of hold the line and push back the influx of aggression towards the tanks. That's pretty much it. All the tanks and stuff basically stayed still. All the guardsmen got ready to lay down just buttloads of las fire across into the Jackals and the 8-bound and the Demons and all the horrifying things coming their way. Let's crack on to shooting.
Alrighty, Dalton. Pretty brutal shooting phase. Let's break it down.
It doesn't look like it's still a lot left on the board, but we did a lot of damage. Over here, the Demolisher Cannons from the 2 Leman Russes just pounded into a bunch of Bloodthirsters, dropping 1 down to 2, 1 over there to 8. Moving over here, all of the Heavy Bolters and the Mortar Fire over here, as well as some of the Sentinel Plink Fire and the Manticores, dealt with a bunch of Flesh Hounds, as well as the Obliterators that were hidden away back here. Gotta love that indirect, it's really handy. All the Terminators and all the little bits and pieces over here cleared out a few bits and pieces of Bloodletters and a little Plink Fire into some more Flesh Hounds. The las Fire up here cleared out a bunch of Bloodletters, and then they Blood Surged and tied up in Blood Claws, and I went, that's a problem. So then the rest of them went over and dealt with a bunch of Jackals on the far side there. Terminators and the Dreadnought over here put a bunch of shooting into some of the Land Raiders and some of the stuff back here. Didn't do a whole lot. The 2 Leman Russ Executioners, however, did a lot of work, putting a lot of work in dealing with a bunch of Terminators over here, so dropping like 4 of them, which is pretty wild. Between then the Dreadnought, some more Sentinels, and over here we dropped this Land Raider down to 8 wounds, so chewing through some of the armor, as well as all of the massed las fire up here, clearing out these Jackals through the middle.
Yeah, opening up that channel for those Blood Claws to get in.
Absolutely. Now, the big lad, the Banehammer over here, did a lot of heavy lifting. A bunch of las cannon fire and the big gun dropping this Land Raider down to 3 wounds remaining, so I'm hoping I can ping that to death pretty soon, as well as all of the heavy flamers just picking up the rest of the Jackals that were situated in here. So there's only this squad over here left, tucked out on the field.
Yes, a lot of Jackals died.
A lot of Jackals died. So pretty much all we've got left to do is the Stormhammer over here. I wanted to show this one on camera because it's going to be pretty big. I'm hoping to drop a bunch of big stuff.
Yeah, Dalton's got a nice little treat for you guys where he's intentionally softened up a bunch of targets so that Stormhammer can go in and confirm the kills.
Yeah, so let's see if we can't drop a couple of Bloodthirsters and a Demon Prince. So it has 8 las cannons mounted on it because 4 wasn't enough. We're going to put 2 of them into this Bloodthirster here, sorry, with the 2 wounds remaining. 6 of them into the one here with 8. And then everything else is going to go into this Demon Prince up here because he could be a big problem later on.
Yep. He's about to swoop down into the middle of that fortification and rip you apart, so you better take him out. So
with all the orders and stuff, I'm hitting on 3s. So I'm going through with 2 las cannons into this very wounded Bloodthirster.
Yep.
Hitting on 3s. It's 1 hit, 1 miss.
1 hit, yep.
Cool. Now it's wounding you on 3s, I believe.
I believe that is the case.
Yep, that's a 1, so nothing at all.
Oh, do you want to CP reroll that perhaps? You haven't used your CP
I haven't yet. Let's give it a go. Still a 1.
1 into a 1. Jeez.
It's not happy.
All right, that Bloodthirster is heavily wounded and very angry.
Yep.
But
that's all right.
It is what it is.
We'll put 6 of them into the next one.
Surely this does it.
This has to, right? Hitting on 3s. That's much better.
Yep.
1 miss. And then we are going to be wounding you on 3s as well. There we go. All of them wounding.
Whooshed. Okay.
They roll those ones as saves. 4 up invuln.
4 up invulnerable saves, and I have already used my CP, so...
Yep. Oof.
Is that 1 pass?
1 pass.
So that's... he's only got 8 wounds left, and they're d6 plus 1 damage, so even if you roll all 1s, he still dies.
He's very dead.
He's very dead. Right. So there's 1 Bloodthirster down.
There we go.
And then you got your cannons, etc.
All of the big stuff. So he's got a twin... what is it? A twin battle cannon and a storm hammer cannon. So the twin battle cannon first. It's all going into this demon prince up here.
Yeah, so this is the battle cannons on this lad.
Yep.
Into that demon prince on the rooftop there.
So this has blast and twin linked, and it's d6 plus 3 shots.
All right, so d6 plus 3.
So 6. Ooh, here we go.
That demon prince is sweating.
You'd better be. All right. So we're going to hitting on 3s once again. That's not a great roll though.
Oh.
A lot of 1s and 2s.
That was atrocious.
Yeah. And twin linked is no longer reroll hits. Twin linked is now shred. So it's reroll wounds.
Reroll wounds.
That said, at what we're looking at here, strength 9. So winning on 3s or winning on 4s?
You're winning on 5s. So I know he's wings. So he's wings is toughness 9.
So 4s to wound.
Without wings are toughness 10. So
gotcha.
4s to wound.
Yep. With rerolls from twin linked or shred. So 1 reroll though, because 3 of them have wounded. That's a wound as well on 6.
So there's 4 wounds.
Yep.
So he has is it AP?
Is AP minus 1.
So I think that's 4 up saves anyway, because I think the ones on foot have a 2 up save.
Yep.
So 1 gets through.
Yep. 3 damage.
Cool.
Okay, and then we have the storm hammer cannon. 3d6 shots. This is the big one.
3d6.
3d6.
So it could be 3 or it could be 18.
Yes. Let's find out.
Some wild variability there.
It's 11.
11. That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. 5.
You'll take that.
9, 10,
Average
11.
is like 10.5. So
Something like that. It's pretty good. Alrighty. Then hitting on 3s, and this is strength 12, so we'll be wounding on 3s as well. Let's drop them down. Whoop.
Whoop.
Watching the Charybdis up there. There you go.
Anyway, yep, roll her up. Oh,
I'm seeing a lot of 1s, but I actually think overall it's not the worst roll it could have been. That's okay. That's alright. Now this does not have twin linked, so it's not rerolling wounds.
but this was higher strength, correct?
This is strength 12, so winning on 3s. Okay, so only dropping the 1 just in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. I'll give you these dice here. Trying to do a sneaky and take out the Charybdis in the background.
These Finley things.
This is minus 2.
So these would be 4 ups. Here's invuln. So
Failing 2 of them.
Flat 3 damage as well.
Flat 3 damage
That would
apiece.
be 12 damage total. Which kills.
9 damage total. Because only 1 went through from before.
Ah.
What I'll do then is I'll just have to throw the multi-laser to Hunter Killer into him. So I've got a 1-shot Hunter Killer missile. I'm going to use it here to try and take down the
Checks out.
the Demon Prince. There's also some heavy stubbers and stuff, but I don't think we're going to worry too much about all that. Going in with the Hunter Killer missile, hitting on a 3, 1 shot. Let's go. That's a 3. Check it out in there.
Checks out. All right.
All right. Now this
Winning
is
on a 3, no doubt.
strength 14, so winning on a 3.
Yep.
Let's go. That's a 4.
Ooh.
That's a wound. And this is AP minus 3.
Where is it?
Just tucked in there.
There we go.
AP minus 3, and it's D6 damage. This could do him.
See this 4?
Yep.
That's what we want to see.
No, it's not. No, it's not. See a 3. That's a
Ooh,
5.
it's a
He's all
5.
good.
That Demon Prince does not want to die.
Looks like he survives till another day.
So that's that rounds out your shooting phase.
Yep.
But
It's pretty successful. Cleared a lot of stuff.
We've got some pretty epic combats lined up here. Do you want to do some charge rolls?
Let's
now?
go.
So we've got these blood claws. Probably you only need like a roll of 3, I reckon.
Yep. So I'll pop this one over here. Getting in with a 5.
Yep.
That definitely makes it in.
Those guys are going to go in there, so that's
Yep.
auto.
Trying to get
Those
the
guys in
Hellbrute.
here.
I'm going to roll that just to try and get the movement out of them.
Oh, yep.
Yep, making an 8. Cool.
You got the Bulgrin here. Do they want to charge the 8-bound? Do they want to charge the Terminators, or do they want to charge the Hellbrute, or do they want to be greedy and go for multiple?
I think they're going to try and charge the 8-bound. I put a bunch of shots into them earlier to try and soften them up. It didn't work, but I'm committed now, so into the 8-bound over here. A 5 will definitely make this,
Yep,
but
yep.
then I'll just have to be
It
careful
just
not to
means
get too
this,
close
yeah,
to
this
here.
guy might not get to fight because of that, but that's fine.
That's all right. This Dreadnought's going to charge your Hellbrute.
Yep, they're auto in. We don't need to
Auto in.
roll that.
And then all of those Terminators in there are going to charge. And I'm going to declare a multi-charge just to make sure it works. The bikes and these Bloodletters.
Yeah, because you need to dig yourself out of combat because those Bloodletters blood surged in.
Exactly, yeah. So they're going in with a 6, very easily making it into there.
Yep.
Cool.
Perfect.
The
And
long
I don't
things-
think we need to roll any of the rest of that out. They're all pretty much already
These are all just
based
going to be
on
charging straight in here, and these Cyber Wolves are going to jump in here and try and mint some Bloodletters as well. Let's get over to the combat phase.
Alright, Dalton, we're in your fight phase. Give us a bit of an update.
Alright, so all the charges went in. I fought first over here with these Terminators, absolutely butchered 6 of the 8-bound. Now, Dean has heroically intervened with some Chaos Terminators down there with the Bulgren, and then has interrupted over here with the Blood Claws and the Berserkers. And of course, before you ask, with this many points on the table, we sort of expect you got a few more CP kicking around, because why not? It's just more fun that way.
Yeah.
So we're going to roll this out on camera because it's pretty cool. We'll see what happens.
So we're just going to roll out Calm. We'll do all the Berserks later, because otherwise it'll take forever. But we've got 8 attacks, because he didn't declare a charge this turn. However, I did use the Blessings of Khorne to get exploding 6s. So
And you're rerolling 1s because you're
rerolling
leading
1s because he's leading Berserkers. So cool. So we've got 2 exploding 6s in there
Very nice.
from his melee weapon.
Yep, it's a Gorechild, yeah?
Yep, Gorechild.
Angren doesn't want his axe back?
No, he's done with it. He's got an even bigger one.
Yeah.
And now these will be winning on 3s with reroll 1s as well.
Very nice. 2 rerolls and only 1, 2 by the looks of it.
Yep. Oh, but I just rerolled those 2 into 2s.
Cool.
So that gives you 7.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's an inauspicious number for Khorne.
Yes.
And
And
AP.
these are AP2, so you'll be getting 5-up saves against these, but they're 3 damage a pop. So, they'll be
everyone kills
cleaving
1.
straight through.
Alrighty, so
plus
it kills
2.
5.
So, yeah, Khan himself killed 5.
Where's Khan? He's in here.
Yep. I have no doubt
he
that the
goes.
rest of the Berserkers are going to pick up that unit.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we'll resolve that off camera, and then we'll resolve this ridiculous amount of combats to happen.
Yep.
So
I'm
hit
sure
you-
we'll be back.
We'll hit you guys back in a sec. Alright, Dalton, the blood has started to spill on this battlefield. Where are we at?
Alright, so following that catastrophic fight over there, where the Berserkers did indeed pick up the rest of the Blood Claws, these Blood Claws managed to down the last couple of wounds off that Hellbrute. Over here we had the Wolf-Lord of the Thunderwolves take down, between them, 3 of the
Exalted
8-bound here, or the regular 8-bound there. The Bulgren over here took down, was it, I think, 2 8-bound and lost 2 of their own in return. They're tough little boys. These Terminators here, they lost a couple to 8-bound in return, but they wiped the entire squad of 6 they charged into. Over here, the Bloodletters, which get to fight first, because they blood surged in, picked up half the squad of Blood Claws, but lost themselves in return. And then the Dreadnoughts here, the Hellbrute and the Dreadnought, beat each other to 2 wounds apiece left with identical close combat profiles. And then the other Bulgren over near there, they did charge in, but they were heroically intervened by the Chaos Terminators. They killed a single Terminator and 2 8-bound, really punching up, but then of course were completely wiped out in return. The last combat to resolve is going to be this beautiful fight over here with all of these Terminators trying to pick up all of these bikes. And we'll do that one on camera for you because it's pretty interesting. Bunch of the new Terminator profiles going in. Let's start with some Thunderhammers.
So I have no defensive stratagems in play, so it's just toughness 5 bikes.
Yep.
Let's see how many you can kill.
Alright, so I'm going to start with the Thunderhammers. Now, they're rerolling 1s because they're near the Venerable Dreadnought to hit and wound, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty spicy.
They also have lethal hits because they're led by a Wolf Guard Battle Leader in Terminator armor.
Cool.
So, hitting on 3s, 4s with Thunderhammers with devastating wounds.
Cool.
Okay, so it's
3
three-
6s, so that's a good start for your lethal hits.
3 lethal hits, 1 miss, but I'm
Which is a
rerolling
reroll.
1s.
Yep.
That's
Off into another 6.
Okay,
Alright.
and then all of these are going to be wounding you on 2s, I imagine.
What strength is
Strength 8, 3s.
3s.
But devastating wounds. Both wound, naturally.
Alright.
So just 6 wounds going through there. These are at AP -2 and they're 2 damage apiece.
So 5 up saves. So we got 2 passed. So that's 2 bikes dead so far, just from the Thunderhammer attacks.
All right. Then we have 3 of them with chain fists. And these have anti-vehicle 3+, but you're not vehicle, so not going to matter. They are going to be hitting you on 4s. Rerolling the 1.
Oh, there's a couple of ones in there. A couple of 6s too, which is good to see.
It is indeed. So it's 2 already lethal hits. And all of these are going to be wounding you on 3s, I imagine. Strength 8 as well.
Yep.
3s to wound. Alrighty.
Rerolling 1s to wound as well,
yes,
correct?
Indeed. There we go. So another 6.
So
again,
those
-2 to damage.
-2, so 5 ups. It's a bit better of a roll, but that's another 1.5 bikes dead. So that's 3.5 bikes dead.
Beautiful. Then we're going in. I've got 5 sets of lightning claws in there. That's 25 lightning claw attacks.
Jesus.
Here we go.
You need bigger hands, mate.
Yeah. All right. So these guys are going to be hitting on 3s. Now, lightning claws are indeed strength 5 now. So you'll be wounding on 4s with shred. Hitting on 3s. It's a cock die there.
That's cocked as, yep.
Yep.
All right, so rerolling your 1s, which I can see a few.
Yep, I'm just going to get rid of the 2s.
Yep, I'll give you a hand.
Cheers, another 1 just over there.
Yep, there's 2 in there.
Very nice. Lethal hits on these 2 6s. Not so many of them. These are going to be hitting on 3s. These are the rerolls. All right, another lethal hit and nothing else. A lot of 1s and 2s.
Not a great conversion. And I'm going to roll wound on those. Looking for 4s with rerolls.
Yep. With full rerolls because of shred. Or twin linked, sorry.
Well, that was a decent roll.
There we go. There's a cock die there. Yep, so that fails. That one fails. That one fails. A few 3s here. Not the best roll, but not the worst. We've got some through. Let's see if I can convert this then with the full rerolls.
Apparently
not really. Cool.
So
3 there. So 1, 2, 3.
And then these are at AP.
Those are all hits. These are at AP 2 as well, but they're only damage 1.
So there's 1 wounded bike.
Yep.
So these are 5 ups. All right, so that kills the wounded bike.
Yep.
So
that's 4 bikes
4
dead.
bikes. Then that's 5 bikes, 6 bikes, and a wound.
6 bikes and a wound.
And there
All
was,
right.
So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 2 bikes left.
Yep. So it's just time for the Wolf Lord himself, also the Wolf Guard battle leader in Terminator armor.
Let's see if he can get it done.
So he should have 5 attacks with his power weapon. I'm going to double check that. He should be hitting on 2s with the power weapon. And he gets the rear ones as well, because he's just part of the unit. So, sorry, hitting on 3s. Oh no, it's the pack leader. They've got a lot of very similar names in here.
Yes, Space Wolves are all just wolf this, wolf that.
Yeah. Yep, hitting on 2s. Rerolling the 1. Yep, all hit.
No lethals?
That's alright. Because we are strength 5, so we are wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s as well. Just 2.
And no 1s?
No 1s.
AP?
This is going to be AP -2 and still only 1 damage.
So I only failed 1 of those, so I think that kills 1 more bike. I think there's 1 bike left with full health.
Yeah. Alright.
So he lives to fight another day. He is even going to get to make some attacks back.
He is, yeah.
Not that he's going to do anything, because he's just a bike, but yeah.
Cool.
Alright, cool. So we'll round out the fight phase, and then we'll jump over into the Cornate turn 1 and see what all of this crazy carnage can do.
Alright, World Eaters turn 1, how are we going?
So we've done some movement. We took some casualties in that first turn, but nothing too major. And basically, everything has just encircled this Imperial stronghold and is coming in to get the job done. Angron, he's over here. He's going to go in and see if he can slaughter some Space Wolves. We've got the Bloodletters and stuff coming up behind me to pick up the Dregs. We've got the Lord of Skulls, the Bloodthirsters, they're coming in on this angle as well. We're going to try and kill some Guardsmen from the top of that stronghold. Interesting stuff. So we've got some Berserkers have disembarked over there. They're going to get into that Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf. We've got 5 Terminators disembarked from the Land Raider. They're going to get stuck into that Dreadnought with their chain fists and hopefully get it done. We've got a Mauler Fiend, Hellbrute, and the remaining Terminators from that first squad. They're going to go get stuck into that Bane Hammer. Across here, we've got the cavalry. They're coming in. They're going to charge into these Leman Russ tanks and hopefully do some damage with their impact hits. We've got the Soul Grinder here. He's going to come in and chop up some Terminators. This Winged Demon Prince is just the one that nearly died in the previous turn. He's just jumped over the lines and he's going to get stuck in with his big axe. And yeah, it's a lot of combat about to take place. We have still got a considerable amount of shooting that we'll resolve in a moment. But primarily, this is going to be an absolute bloodbath. And yeah, let's resolve some shooting and we'll be right back.
For an army supposedly about close combat, that was a lot of shooting.
Yes, quite a long shooting phase, so forgive me if I forget any of it. But essentially what we had, Helldrakes, they flamed all of the infantry that were on the top here, killing a bunch. Then we had the Predators along the side there with the Land Raiders. They fired down range and killed one of the Leman Russ there. And then we had, across here, we had the other Land Raiders, and a Khitan put some damage into the other Leman Russ, killed that.
As well as the Sentinels that were tucked in behind it.
As well as the Sentinels and one of these Manticores. I think that was killed by the Land Raider over there. So we cleared out a bunch of the mech along that side. Then over here, not quite as much shooting on this side of the board. We got the Brass Scorpions and the Forge Fiends. They killed one of the tanks that was here and the heavy weapons teams that were up on the Bastion wall there. And then along this side, we had the other Forge Fiends, the Skull Cannons, all the Contemptor Dreads. They all sort of focused fired in and killed the other vehicle here and the other Sentinels. So we're really doing a big push to clear out that central area of the terrain.
I've never seen drop pods do that much damage.
And yeah,
the Charybdis and the Sentinels was pretty wild.
The Charybdis they've got a ton of missile launchers on them, so they put a whole bunch of hurt on the Bane Sword or whatever it's called.
One to the Bane Sword, the other one cleared out Sentinels on its own. It was pretty nuts.
Yeah, they're pretty impressive with their damage output. And I think that more or less covers all the shooting that took place. We're about to resolve, however, one of these Lord of Skulls on camera for you, just because they're my favourite unit to roll out. And it's going to go into the Storm Hammer. We've been calling it the Bane Hammer, but
it's also not a Storm Hammer, it's a Hell Hammer.
Hell Hammer, Jesus, there's too many hammers. Everything's either a wolf this or a hammer that. Cool, so he's got D6 shots.
I'm using some CP on Armored Might as well, so -1 damage on the thing because it is tough.
And I've saved CP for this because I want to make sure I get lots of shots with this. So, because I had a feeling that was going to happen, and roll a 1. So we're going to roll a number of shots on his big gun. 4 shots. He's going to be hitting you on 3s. Oof, only 1 hit. And I'm not near anyone for rerolls. And that's not even going to wound. That is disappointing. And then he's got 2d6 on his other gun. There it is.
12 shots, very nice.
There it is. That being said, your -1 damage is going to do work on this because this is 3 damage.
Not anymore.
So, hitting on 3s. Ew. And then these are strength 14 though, so winning on 3s, even though you are toughness 13. There's 3 in there, so that's AP 3.
So 2 up, so 3s, 4s, 5s.
Correct. Alright,
so making any.
That would have been 12 damage, but it's going to be 8 thanks to your stratagem.
Absolutely.
So 8 damage dealt. Relatively uneventful shooting there, but
down 16 wounds.
He is about to get in combat with a Maul of Fiend, Hellbrutes, some Terminators, and some 8-bound, so I'm pretty confident he's in a lot of trouble. But I mainly wanted to soften him up with the shooting because the Maul of Fiend gets +1 to hit against targets that have taken damage.
There's not much left after that.
Yeah, so it's been a brutal charge phase, fight phase. I'll give you a bit of summary. We haven't done this in the correct order, but for the purposes of filming and whatnot, we have got some combats taking place over here. Wolf Lords died, Dreadnoughts died, Fenrisian Wolves have died, the Blood Claws, the Long Fangs have
all the
died.
drop pods.
All the drop pods have died. Coming across here, we had the Wolf Lord. He did a CP interrupt and killed 2 of the Exalted 8-bound.
What a hero.
Which was perfect because it meant that I didn't have enough damage to kill him back. He's almost dead, but he's still kicking around. Across here, this is going to be interesting as well. We've got the charge from the Juggernauts, the Dreadnought, into the Hammer there. And
the
we
Demon
roll
Prince
this...
picked up the Manticore, tucked it back in here.
Yep, and we want to roll this one on camera for you because this is really cool. So with Blood Crushers, when they charge, you get to roll 1d6 for each model in the unit. We've got 7 models in the unit because there's a character. And for every 4+, you suffer d3 mortal wounds. So that is going to be...
That is horrifying.
That many...
D3.
By d3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mortal wounds on the charge.
Down to 7 wounds
remaining. So that
remaining.
thing only had 18, so it's down to 7 left.
That's pretty spicy.
And now with their attacks, I'm relatively confident they'll pick that up as well, especially because we have got the Dreadnought in there as well.
Yep.
Other combats that took place, we had the Bloodletters and Angron clean up all of the guard that were on the floor here, as well as the Soul Grinders and the Brass Scorpions clearing out the Terminators, the Demon Prince jumping in to help as well. We had a couple of Bloodthirsters up here, just wade through just swathes of guardsmen. They were only able to declare a charge into 1 target each, so they just used their sweep attacks to pick up that whole squad. Over here, the Lord of Skulls and the Berserkers and the Brass Scorpion all got engaged with the Terminators that killed the bikes and finished them off. The Hellbrute, my Hellbrute got to strike first and did the damage and killed the Loyalist one. And then the last thing that we also are going to roll out on camera is the, what's he called, Mauler Fiend. It's going to charge in and deal damage to that.
The Overwatch from that took out a few of the 8-bound there, which is why there's only 1 left. But it still took a lot of damage from the Terminators and the Hellbrute. Let's see if the Mauler Fiend can put it down.
So yeah, the Terminators and the Hellbrute put a fair bit of work in. Mauler Fiend's going to finish him. So he's got 7 attacks and he's hitting on 2s because you've taken wounds. And he's not re-rolling anything, but I do have sustained hits. So they're all hits. Then he is wounding you on 3s, I believe. Hang on, I just need to double check that actually. Do we have the... I just want to double check. I think he's strength 12 actually. Actually, you know what? Strength 14.
So 3's to wound.
3's to wound. And there is 8 bound nearby, which gives him reroll 1s to wound.
Very nice.
So that is 2, 4, 6 wounds.
At AP.
At AP 2, so you'll be getting a 4-up save on these.
3 up 4s. So failing 3.
3 get through.
And their damage.
They are D6 plus 1, and I only need to do 8. So
here we go.
That
definitely kills him. But does he explode? Looking for that 6.
You know what to do.
Oh, he tried.
So
the Hellhammer does go down.
Hellhammer goes down. And we'll resolve the rest off. I think we've just got this combat to go. And then we'll hit you guys back with summary. Alrighty, Dalton. Blinding light of the Emperor has shone on this battlefield. What's going on?
The trap is sprung and the Hammer of Titan is falling. We have Grey Knights have teleported in across the board. Reinforcing the center here are a bunch of Strike Marines as well as Purgators and Terminators both here and on the other side there, looking to clear out and make a bit of breathing room. This Demon Prince is looking in an awful lot of danger at the moment with his little 1 wound sitting in there. We then have a Dread Knight has jumped in here as well, alongside some Paladins and a Librarian, looking to deal with some of those Mauler Fiends and Hellbrutes and all the heavy armor over there. Interceptors on all the way over there, looking to jump in, try and clear out the Hellbrute and Blood Slaughterer. More Strike Marines up here. A heroic single Dread Knight looking to take down and banish Angron back to the warp, teleporting in over this side. And then some more Interceptors over here, looking to come over, maybe help out this Wolf Lord, clear out some of the 8-bound and Spawn. And then finally Interceptors and Terminators all the way down the front there, looking to throw a bunch of firepower out, make a bunch of charges, and just really create a lot of breathing space, a lot of breathing room, regain some of the ground and relieve some of the Imperial Guard forces.
Sounds good. Alright, Dalton, tell us about your mind bullets.
The mind bullets bulleted all the mines. It was a pretty eventful shooting phase. Did a fair bit of damage where I needed to, so I'm pretty happy about that. Jumping it over this side here to start with, these guys just picked up a few plink fired off some Bloodletters over there. Definitely very aware of the Surge move this time around. All the mass las cannon fire here took a bunch, gunfire took a bunch of chunks out of the Berserker squad at the back there, as well as the autocannons over here. I can't risk Blood Surge moves this close. The squads in here did a bunch of damage over here to some of the Juggernauts. This Dread Knight, not wanting Angron to obviously Blood Surge into him, just cleared out a squad of Bloodletters and a lone Fleshhound back here. These strikes, as well as the Interceptors down there, managed to clear off the 8-bound that were eyeing them up, the Exalted 8-bound that were eyeing up in there with just massed fire, as well as the Dread Knight and the Paladins taking some solid chunks out of this Land Raider and all the stuff that was just in here.
Yep.
The 8-bound that popped out of here, 2 of them were picked off by some autocannon fire from up here. And then all of this stuff here, they were Blood Surge moved into by them after killing a few of them. And these guys just added their weight of fire to take down some more of their... All we have left to do now is the Purgation Squad in the middle. There's eyeing up this Demon Prince. Thought we'd do this one on camera because it's nice and cinematic. And let's see if they can take him down. So I'm going to start. We have 2 silencers in the squad. So they're going to be hitting on 3s with 6 shots apiece, with sustained hits 1.
That's a lot of shots.
It is indeed. That's a bit of a cocked die in there. Oop. Alrighty. So 1 with sustained hits and only 2 misses. Cool. So I'm getting one of those back.
Beautiful.
Now these are going to be strength 5s. They will be wounding on 5s.
Yep.
But it's a lot of shots. Get in. 1, 2, 3 wounds by the looks of that.
I'm seeing a
4 with a 5 there.
And then AP on these.
This is going to be AP 0, so it's just going straight in.
Onto my 2-up save.
Doesn't matter, that puts him down.
He got killed by a silencer, of all things.
Silencer, down he goes.
Actually, I'll get the 6-up Feel No Pain from my Blessings of Khorne, which, no dice.
Alrighty.
Alright, womp womp, that's a dead Demon Prince.
Excellent.
Alright, we'll resolve the rest of the fights, and we'll get back to you. Oh, the rest of the shooting. Oh, no, we've already done the shooting, haven't we?
We'll do some charges, and then we'll get back to you for the fights.
These turns take frickin' hours. Alright, Dalton, that's a lot of charges.
It's a lot of charges. Pretty much everyone got into combat here. I think the Purgation Squad is the only one that didn't. Yeah, the Terminators over here charging the Hellbrute and the Juggernauts in here. The 2 strike squads going into this Bloodthirster, hoping to really put some damage onto it. This Dread Knight, of course, charging Angron. We'll resolve that one for you on camera in a minute, because I can try and banish him right now. The Interceptors down here charging the Hellbrute and the Bloodslaughterer. The other Dread Knight charging the lone 8-bound, because it's all it's in range for. The Paladins getting into the Hellbrutes and the Mauler Fiend. The Terminators into these Terminators, and this Strike Squad into those Terminators, as well as, of course, they were Blood Surged into earlier. So yeah, a lot of charges, everything's in combat. Let's do Angron right now. Let's see if we can take him down.
Alright.
So the Nemesis Nemesis...
So I have spent 2 CP to neg 1 damage here, and I also still have my 6-up Feel No Pain.
Cool.
Because I cannot afford to let you drop me below that, threshold for those banishments.
Definitely. I'm going to be using the Surge of Wrath psychic ability on the Grandmaster Nemesis Dread Knight. Full rerolls of hit rolls, wound rolls, and I believe damage rolls. Well. Yes. Let's go. 5 attacks with the strike of the Nemesis Greatsword.
Let's see
hitting
how great
on
that sword is.
3s. Alright,
so you get
2
your
misses,
rerolls.
full rerolls. There we go, all hit.
Hits. Not bad, not bad.
Yep. Now it is strength 10.
So you'll be winning on 5s. Because I
Winning on 5s. Let's get him. That's 1 so far, but I have full rerolls on this. Let's spike it high. Bring him down. That's 2. Alrighty.
So, I have got my 4-up invulnerable save.
Yep.
Which I have got a CP if I need to reroll one of these.
Ooh.
They both get through, so I'm going to reroll one of those. Okay, so 2 get through.
Going to be 2d6 damage going through, and I can reroll this if I so please. Alright. 8 damage. Now you minus 2 from each, right? To a minimum of
minus 1 from each.
Oh, gotcha. So it's 5 and 1, so 6 damage.
Yeah.
What does it drop him down to?
That drops him to 10 left.
10 left. That is within banishing range.
Within banishing range.
So as we talked about...
After striking, you can now attempt to banish him.
Exactly. So as we talked about at the start, what I have to do after fighting Angron is I have to roll 2 dice and get higher than his number of remaining wounds. If I can do that, he's banished permanently back to the warp. He's down to 10 wounds.
It'd be a very quick game if that happens.
It would be. But we're going to try. So we're here to do rolling an 11 or a 12 to get him down.
Alright.
Here we go. A 5 won't quite do it. So I can't reroll that.
Non-successful banishment. One thing you have succeeded in here, however, is you've pissed him off.
Yeah, that is
now,
the problem.
On the backswing, I highly suspect Angron's going to kill that Dread Knight. But he is down to 10 wounds remaining. Maybe if you chip him down a little bit in the next turn, you can go for that banishment there. So,
well, let's go and resolve the rest of these combats. We'll be able to turn round up and then back for Khorne, round 3.
bloody combat. Tell us what went down.
All right, so as expected, Angron then slapped back and absolutely punked that Dread Knight. So he has been destroyed. He's gone back into reserve.
How dare he?
Yeah. This Bloodthirster, the 15 strikes, the 10 and the 5 men, did drop him down to 6 wounds, but in return he punked the entire squad of 5 and did some damage to the big 10 men as well. This squad of Paladins really whiffed a bit from what I was expecting into the Juggernauts. T6 on them means I'm...
The T7.
T7. Strength 6 means I'm wounding on 5s even with Strength 6. So they really didn't do as much as I was hoping. And likewise, the Grandmaster and the couple of that did fight into the Dreadnought didn't really do much to it at all. Over here, the Interceptors that came over here to relieve the Wolflord did a pretty good job of it, killing the 8-bound and the Spawn, and then blocking up the Bloodthirsters. So they only managed to drop the Wolflord down to 1 wound left. He's sticking around and he killed a couple on the clapback. All the Guardsmen up here are looking very worried because they're kind of out in the open. Not a whole lot I can do about it at the moment. The Paladins over there the Terminators over there did clean up the...
There was Terminators
World
here,
Eaters.
and then there was Terminators here.
Now there are no Terminators anywhere.
There's no Terminators anywhere anymore. I mean, there's still some in, I think, that Land Raider over there.
Yep. But there's none on the board currently, which is a bit of a relief. They're still 8-bound over there, though, so I've got to try and deal with them. The Paladins cleared out the Hellbrute, severely damaged the Mauler Fiend, and the Dread Knight very handily cleaned up the last 8-bound. And finally, that squad of Interceptors over there did pick up both the Hellbrute, which was heavily wounded, and the Bloodslaughterer, which was pretty sweet. So cleared up a lot of space there. Definitely bracing for a bit of a clapback, but now I've got to try and make sure I maneuver some guys, get some stuff here to try and take down Angron properly next turn. Right, the trap has been sprung. What are you doing about it?
The trap has been sprung, and we are responding in kind, as you would expect World Eaters to, by just charging into glorious combat. So everything has just moved that little bit closer. We've actually got a bit of a roadblock situation where things are getting in each other's way, and there's just Bloodletters climbing over the top of each other. There's Berserkers trying to wade their way through the corpses all over the battlefield, climbing up the walls of the little bastion thingies there, and basically going in for that combat. So Khan is leading the charge there. He's going to get stuck into those guardsmen, see how many he can kill. We've got a Lord of Skulls coming around the corner there. He's going to try and get stuck into those Terminators to try to free those Berserkers down the back there. We've got 8-bound coming up the middle here, the ones from the exploded Land Raider last turn. They're going to try to hit those strikes. The Lord Discordant and his Mauler Fiends have moved in, so they're going to get stuck into some combat there as well. We've got Angron has flown over from where he was. He's going to go try and hunt that other Dread Knight. He's basically wants to be the biggest bad guy on the table, so he doesn't want these mechanical monstrosities running around, so he's going to hunt those down. And we've got Bloodthirsters flying in. They're going to be picking up more strikes, more guardsmen. Bloodletters climbing the walls here to pick up more guardsmen. Everything is just pushing in. Over here into the Paladins, we have got a Demon Princess jumping into the combat as well as the Dreadnought there. I think they were just Terminators, but yeah, going into there to try to pick them up as well. And then the Contemptor Dreadnought Talon here is getting stuck into the Wolflord there and those strikes. So we're going to hopefully pick off that last remaining Space Wolf and clear the board so that we're just dealing with these Grey Knights. However, every unit that we do kill gets put straight back into Deep Strike reserves. So they're going to keep coming back and we're going to have to continue dealing with them. But we want to try to mitigate their ability to banish Angron. So we're going to roll some shooting out now. There's actually only really one valid target because it's all infantry and it's almost all in combat. So we've got these guys here, which we'll deal with them later. Got plenty of firepower to do that. But what we are going to do is we're going to do this Lord of Skulls here. He's going to shoot that Dread Knight, see if he can steal Angron's kill.
All right, let's go.
So D6 attacks on his big gun. For 1, I'm going to see if he reroll that because...
Fair enough.
Yeah. 4. Means they're hitting you on 3s, and they will get rerolls from Angron. So that's 3 hits.
Yep.
Strength 14.
Toughness 8, so 3s to wound.
3s to wound. So that's 2 wounds there. And these are on your invulnerable save.
4+.
4. So you pass both of them.
Beautiful.
Nicely done. And then we got 2d6 from his other gun for 5 shots. Hits on 3s, which rerolls from Angron. So 4 hits there. These are also winning on 3s. So that's 4 wounds, and these are 3 damage a pop.
AP.
AP 3, so I'm
So 4 invulns.
Okay, so
fail 1, take
turns
3.
out if you roll that well with your invulnerable saves, Lord of Skulls doesn't do a massive amount of damage. But that's okay, because Angron's about to get stuck into combat, and that's where we want to kill. So we'll resolve the rest of the shooting. In fact, there's still a ton of las cannons that can shoot that guy, so I suspect he's going to die to the rest of the shooting, but we won't bore you with that. We'll resolve that off camera, and then we'll hit you back in the charge phase.
Alright, so how do we go with charges?
So with the shooting, as you saw, we put some shots into the Dread Knight, failed to kill him with the Lord of Skulls, but then we picked him up with the all the Predators and the Land Raiders. We also picked up the Purgator squad that was in here. Then we ticked over into the charge phase, and basically everything's gone in. So I guess starting over here, we've got Bloodletters and Fleshhounds are getting into the Guardsmen and the Strikes respectively. This Bloodthirst has also jumped up on there. He's going to get into those Guardsmen as well, just clean them all out. Sweeping across this way, we've got the Demon Prince has got into those Terminators, as has the Leviathan Dreadnought, and these 8-bound in here. This Bloodthirster and these 3 Contemptors have got into this little nugget of combat here. So the Bloodthirster into those Inceptors, or Interceptors, or whatever they are, and the other guys into the Wolflord. And we've got Khan leading the charge up there. He's in combat with those Guardsmen. We've got that Lord of Skulls that's there. He's touching the Terminator unit there. And we've also thrown a second unit of Khorne Berserkers in there just for good measure. Then up here, the Helldrake and the 8-bound there charging into those Strikes to try to clear them out. All 3 Mauler Fiends into that Paladin unit and Angron as well. Then across, we've got a Bloodthirster, a Lord Discordant, a Lord of Skulls, and 10 Berserkers with the Master of Executions into that Interceptor squad. So I dare say they're in a lot of trouble. And that's the charge phase done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to roll out Angron's attacks into the Paladins for you on camera. Because he's a spicy boy, and if there's one thing I love in 40k, it's rolling out Angron's attacks. So, because he declared a charge this turn, he will have 9 attacks going in. So that's 9. And we have sustained hits. So, and reroll hits. So I need 2 more dice from his sustained hits.
Very nice.
And then he would normally be wounding on 2s. You have an ability that's neg 1 to wound, but I've spent a CP to get +1 to wound. So
Very
back to
nice,
wounding
yeah.
on 2s here.
Paladins, whenever they're targeted by an attack that's more than their toughness, they get -1 to wound.
So that was all, not a single one.
Yep.
So of his 9 attacks, he wounded you 11 times.
Excellent. And now these are all 3 damage.
They're all D6 + 2. So
To minimum 3, so
minimum
each
3.
one kills 1.
And you got 4 up invulnerable.
4 up
save.
invuln save. There are 5 paladins in the squad, so we'll do 5 at a time before we get to the librarian.
Yep. Well, that's
4 of them dead.
That's-
All 5 dead.
Paladins are all gone.
And I should make 5 4-ups, so the librarian's dead too.
Oh!
I think he might survive.
Well,
really.
how many
Depends.
wounds does he have? I think he's got 5.
I think he has 4 or 5, yeah. Let's see
D6
it.
+ 2. Nah,
No, he's so
cooked.
dead. He's so very dead.
So that is Angron slaughtering an entire unit of Paladins. God, he is a spicy meatball, and that is exactly why the Grey Knights are trying so hard to banish him. But yeah, so we'll resolve the rest of the combats off camera because there's about 1 billion dice that need to be rolled, and we'll hit you guys with a summary in a moment.
And that is almost a tabling.
It is a very bloody fight phase. So yeah, pretty much close to a tabling. We saw Angron kill the Paladins. I think it's actually easier to list the things that didn't die. So we've got the Strikes down there. They just survived the 8-bound and the Helldrakes fighting. So there's 4 of them left. The Terminators over there, Dalton used the CP to interrupt and was able to kill a whole unit of Berserkers and a couple from the other unit. And then he spiked pretty high on his 4-up invulnerable saves, blocking out a lot of the Lord of Skulls damage. But other than that, pretty much everything's dead. So The Berserkers, they cleaned out all of the guard up there. There's just the command squad left. The Dread Talon killed the Wolf Lord. The Bloodthirster killed the Strikes. These Terminators got killed by a combination of the 3 damage from the Demon Prince, from the what do they call, the Lacerators in the 8-bound squad, and the Dreadnought. The Strikes that were up here got by the Bloodthirster and the Fleshhounds. The Guardsmen that were on here got picked up by the Bloodletters and the other Bloodthirster. The Inceptors that were down there got picked up by that ridiculous amount of combat that had them encircled. And yeah, it's pretty damn close to a tabling. However, as we said at the start, there is that rule where everything that dies goes straight back into Deep Strike Reserve. So we're about to have all of this come back on. So Dalton's going to have a very interesting turn because he's going to be able to drop. And as long as he drops wholly within 24 inches of that center icon...
12 of the center icon.
12 of the center icon. Then he'll be able to basically drop 1 inch away and automatically make those charges. And Angron, the fool, has charged right into that trap. But we'll see what happens. Dalton failed to banish him last turn, so we'll see what happens in the next turn. Another blast of shining white light has hit the battlefield. Dalton, what are we doing?
We are back for round 2, and this time we're going to put Angron down properly. So we've got a big brick of 10 Terminators dropped in here. The Dread Knight didn't quite do it last time, so these guys are jumping in. They're going to make sure to drop them down nice and low so I can banish him nice and easily. We then have the Purgation Squad coming back here as well, eyeing up this heavily wounded Bloodthirster. The Interceptors here, as well as the Paladin Squad, hoping to clear up some of this side here, reallocating some damage to where it needs to be. And this Dread Knight with the hammer dropping in here, eyeing up all of these Dreadnoughts, can do a bit of damage through there. This Dread Knight is going to try and take down this Bloodthirster. He's trying for an easier target than Angron this time. And then we have all of the Interceptors ringing Angron down the front there. Another squad of Strikes coming up here to support, and a big squad of 10 Strikes aiming to take down Khan, get some retribution for all the innocent blood he spilled today. And that's pretty much it. We're going to go straight in and roll this Purgation Squad into the Bloodthirster, because it's the main bit of shooting we've got going on. We'll see if we can put him down properly. So to start with, we're going to go with the 12 shots straight from the Psy Cannons.
Yep.
These guys will be hitting on 3s with sustain hits 1. Ooh, that's pretty good, actually. I think dropping
one miss.
I'm going to need to get 2 more dice as well.
You know it's good when you didn't prepare enough dice.
Yeah. There we go. There, and there. Now, the Psy Cannons are only strength 6.
Yep. And
Silencers, sorry, is what we're rolling with, and they're strength 5. They are going to be wounding you on 6s. No rerolls here, but I'm not going to need it. We're just going to roll a bunch of 6s. Nothing.
Not
Good
a
stuff.
single 6.
Not a single 6.
That's not what you want to see.
Nope. Then we have the 1 Psy Cannon hitting on 3s. All hit.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Roll. No explodes though.
Not on the Psy Cannons, only the silencers.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Strength 8 though, so 5 still wound.
Yep.
1 wound at -1 to damage.
So I believe he's just got a 4-up invuln.
Yep, he's
Which
good.
is fine.
Then the 2 Flamers, 2d6 hits. The Incinerators for 8 hits.
Not bad.
There we go. And these are going to be strength 6, so wounding you on 5s as well.
Correct.
1, 2, 3, 4 wounds.
Not bad.
And these are AP -1.
So that'll be 2 get through.
Yep, 1 damage apiece, so drops him down to 4.
So he's got, down from 6 wounds down to 4.
Not quite as much damage as I was hoping to do, but we've got the Dread Knight sitting right there that can hopefully finish him off.
I think you'll be able to plink him off with the rest of your damage, but...
Should do. There's a lot of other firepower that I can definitely put into him. And hopefully drop a couple of Bloodthirsters in the shooting phase, the other big one being the wounded one from earlier over here. And then we'll go and be back, summarize that, and get into charges and combat.
Alright, Dalton, tell us what's up.
Alright, it was a very successful shooting phase. We had, even though we whiffed a bit with the Purgation Squad, this Dread Knight managed to actually put down that wounded Bloodthirster. And then over here, this Dread Knight, as well as all the shooting from up here off the roof, did take the last wounds off this one that was wounded here, dropping it as well. So, making some progress.
Couple Bloodthirsters dead.
Yep. Cleaned up a bunch of the blood letters that were running around. A squad in here and a squad over there. Both got picked up by Plink Fire from all of the Storm Bolters and stuff scattered around here. The strikes over there managed, as along with all of the Terminators in here, did also manage to put down that other Mauler Fiend that was wounded over there before. That said, that's about it for shooting. We just ran out of stuff very fast. So we instead moved straight on to combat. All the charges basically were made. They're all automatic ones. They came in here, these moved in there. They charged into Khan's unit, as did the squad next to them. Of course, the 10 Terminators charged into Angron, this Dread Knight into that Bloodthirster. And 10 of the strikes, 2 squads of 5 there, did charge into the Mauler Fiend to try and put one of those down as well.
All right.
We are going to roll out Angron on camera because that's what we're here to do. Let's see if the 10 Terminators... I'm spending 2 CP on Radiant Strike to give them all devastating wounds as well.
So this is 10 Terminators into Angron, and the goal here is to get him down to a couple of wounds left, right?
Yep, so then I can banish him properly, so then he can't be brought back, and that's it, it's all over.
Game over. So the game could end here, but it also may continue. We'll see what happens.
Alrighty, so I'm going to be hitting on 3s. Now, Hammer Hand means I've got lethal hits, and Radiant Strike means I've got devastating wounds as well. Okay. So hitting on 3s, looking for 6s. Okay, 1, 2, 3 6s, 4 6s, 5 6s. Cool. So they're all wounds already.
Yep.
I'm going to pull out 1s and 2s because they are misses. No rerolls on this one. Just that stuff there.
One in the middle there.
There.
Looks pretty good.
I think I'm pretty right there.
Yep, looks good to me.
Cool. Now, they're only strength 6. Your toughness 12?
11. So you're winning on 5s, so 6s are devastating.
Very nice. All right, let's get in there. Okay.
3 devastating.
3 devastating, so that's 6 damage straight through already.
Yep. We'll get a Feel No Pain, but we'll work that out in a sec.
Of course, yep.
Pull out your 5s.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And add them to that pile over there.
And this 5, so 11 saves in total.
So, I'm going to make these saves.
They're all onto your 4+, because they're all -2. That's pretty good.
So,
but that is a lot of stuff going through there.
That would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage.
That might be too much damage.
But I do get a 6 up for a pain here.
Yep, so...
Did I say 13 damage?
It'd be 14 damage.
I was going to say, it should be multiples of 2.
Yeah.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
So that's 10.
11, 12, 13, 14.
These are my 6 up for no pains.
Oh, you dropped a dice. No, you needed to make more of those.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
That actually kills him.
That does kill him. I've gone too far.
That was close though. If I passed a couple more of those, he would have only had 1 wound left.
Yeah, that would have been premium, because then he must be banished. If I get him to 1, it's premium.
But what that actually means is that he now dies. Deadly Demise. No.
Yeah.
And that means that you're not banishing him. However,
I'm not banishing him.
He will be back because he's reborn in blood and he's Angron and he's just not keen to sit this battle out. And what I'm actually going to do now is now that you've fought there, I'm going to spend CP and I'm going to interrupt with Khan.
Ooh, there we go.
And we're going to resolve that combat and then we'll be right back.
All right, do you want to tell us what utter insanity is about to happen here?
So, we just saw we've interrupted with Khan the Betrayer, and he allocated his attacks into the unit of 5 strikes, with a few berserkers in there as well, and then the rest of the berserkers went into the big squad. Killed all 5 of the small squad, killed a bunch out of the big squad, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 1 command point for when an enemy unit is destroyed in melee to make a Blessings of Khorne roll.
This sounds made up.
And we're going to bring Angron back.
All right, so what needs to happen for that?
I need to roll 3 6s. I will have 1 that I can modify because of the Lord of Skulls killing units in previous battle rounds. So
okay,
let's see. I need to roll 3 6s or 2 6s and a single 5.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
There's 2 6s
and a
5, which I'm going to use to modify into a 6.
Oh no!
And the big man is back.
All right, so it was disappointing that Angron immediately comes back, but we're still coming back across the board. The 8-bound down here were absolutely butchered in response. The Terminators down there as well picked up the rest of those Berserkers. These strikes fought back and killed most of Khan's squad, the 2 damage in their weapons being extremely nice there. This Dread Knight did put down the Hellbrute, or the Leviathan Dreadnought there. The Paladins picked up the 8-bound and most of the Juggernauts, but again, that toughness 7 on them is just so hard to get through.
It's spicy.
There's such a good breakpoint for it. These interceptors then cleared out through here as well, the Demon Prince. These Purgation Squad's Marines are just staying there because they want to be able to overwatch with Flamers, because it's pretty funny. This Dread Knight we're going to roll for you in a minute, actually. This epic duel on top of the Redoubt. Meanwhile, these interceptors right down the front there picked up that extra Mauler Fiend. Look, the Grey Knights are taking some time to do it, but they are starting to get through some of the demons, some of the World Leaders. There's some gaps appearing on the board, which is kind of cool. Right. But we are going to roll out, before anything else happens, the Grandmaster Dread Knight into the Bloodthirster of Khorne.
My money's on the Bloodthirster.
Probably. The Dread Knight has 5 attacks, so I'm going to use, once again, their ability for full rerolls to hit, wound, and damage.
Yep. Hitting
you on 3s with a Nemesis Greatsword strike. With full rerolls, which is really good because I only hit with 1 of them. Let's fish that out from there.
How good are rerolls?
Yeah. That's better.
How good are rerolls?
And then they are Strength 10, so wounding on 5s. With rerolls. So 2 so far. If I can get another 1 or 2 out of this, it would be premium. Nothing. So 2 just the 2. Far? You got your 4 up involved.
4 up involved.
Which you pass both.
You do no damage to me. And then if you would be so kind as to pull up my offensive profile.
Yep, so you got 7 attacks.
7. That doesn't seem very Khorne.
You are hitting on 2s with strength 16, and you're minus 4d6 plus 2.
Hitting on 2s.
Yep, Angron's rerolls, I'm sure. Oh no,
Angron's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead, Jim. Or do Bloodthirsters give rerolls? I think Bloodthirsters might give rerolls.
I'll double check that one for you.
We'll keep those off the side now, and I'll be wounding you on 3s.
Yep.
So that'll be 3 wounds so far.
Yep, I'll just roll those. It might kill him straight up. No, he passes all of those.
Wow, what an epic duel.
Let's see if the Bloodthirster does indeed give rerolls.
He might give reroll 1s.
No, you get +1 to hit.
Oh, well, I was hitting
so you're hitting on 2s anyway.
Okay,
yep.
Wow, what an awesome ability.
Yeah.
Cool, so I guess both of them just slapped at each other.
I'm glad we took the time to show you guys that.
Yeah. Wow.
And we will clean up this up a little bit and be back after the World Leaders and Chaos Demons Khorne turn 3. All right, so you've moved and everything is closing in on the center.
We are closing in on that teleport homer. We're trying to shut it down. The Grey Knights can emerge there, but if we get close enough that they can't fit, that might slow the tide of this silver-clad Marines. So, as for movement, everything's just closed in. So we've got the Bloodthirsters have come in to kill the strikes. The Brass Scorpions come in to hit these Paladins. This Bloodthirster's jumped over to try and save Khan. That Bloodthirster's jumped over. He's going to get stuck into the Paladins. The Terminator's over there. Lord of Skull's going to get stuck into those Interceptors. We've got 2 squads of Berserkers with Master of Executions that are setting up some decent charges there. This guy in the middle here, he's got the Berserker Glaive Enhancement. So I think he's got a decent chance of just cleaving through a whole ton of models there. So that should be pretty spicy. As you saw, Angron was reborn in blood. This is exactly why the Grey Knights are going for the banishment, because they need to stop him from just doing this and teleporting around. He's come in here. He's looking for a 8-inch charge there, because he's 9 inches away, but he's going to use his +1 to charge ability this turn. So he's going to go in for a charge there and hopefully get that off. We've got the Contemptor Dreads. They've moved up to deal with this Dread Knight. And some Berserkers have disembarked from a Rhino back there so that they can get stuck into the Paladins or the Terminator squad down there. And I think we're looking good, and I think this is going to be another practically tabling situation. But then, of course, the Grey Knights are just going to teleport back because they're tricky. So, yeah, we'll get into some shooting. There's actually only 1 valid target to shoot at because everything else is in combat. Oh, there's this guy as well. So
the Purgation Squad.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there's a couple. So we'll resolve some shooting, and then we'll be back in a moment.
Still a very successful shooting phase for the melee focused army.
So there was actually a surprisingly large number of valid targets. So we killed the Purgation Squad here. We killed the Interceptors that were lined up here. We killed the Command Squad. We killed some strikes from down there. We killed the Dread Knight here. I was actually hoping to get into combat with him, but we managed to pop him with shooting from Forge Fiends, Soul Grinders, Charybdis, brass scorpions. There's just a ridiculous amount of shooting in this list for a World Eaters one. We put some damage into this Dread Knight up here, but he passed a lot of his 4-up invulnerable saves, and that -1 to hit when shooting into an ongoing combat really did slow the damage dealing down. So now we're just going to roll out a couple of charges, so that rounds out the shooting. We've got Angron here. He's gone for an 8-inch charge into those paladins, and I do have 1 CP in case I want to re-roll this. So Angron going in. Not with a 5 he won't, so I'm going to re-roll that. And that's a 12.
There we go. Double 6s.
So he's keen. In he goes. There you go, mate. And then we've got another one over there, which is another long bomb 8 charge that we need to make with these Khorne Berserkers getting into those interceptors. So looking for an 8. And that's another 12.
Oh, there we go.
Double box cars. Those Berserkers are getting in as well. So now there's going to be, we'll do some other charges as well, but the rest of them are pretty much automatic because they're only an inch or so away. So we'll push all that sort of stuff in, and then we'll resolve some combats in a moment.
All right, everything is charged in.
Yes, we've made quite a few charges. You saw we got the long bomb charge with Angron and the Berserkers. We've also charged, this Bloodthirster here is charged into both the Terminators and the Interceptors over there. This unit with the Master of Executions with the Berserker's Glaives charged into the Terminators, and his Berserker units stretched out and got those Interceptors as well. Then we've got the Lord of Skulls in there, the Lord Discordant is in there, the Mauler Fiend is in there, so that's a big gnarly fight happening over there. Got this ongoing combat over here with the Terminators and the Berserkers. We've got these Bloodletters have charged into the Dread Knight because we've all seen what happens when a Bloodthirster tries to do it. The Bloodthirster can't get the job done, so we'll see if Bloodletters can do it. This Bloodthirster's jumped up onto the top of the fortress there to get those strikes, and the only other thing was the Contemptor Dreads charging in over here. And we've fought with Angron, killed 4 of these Paladins, and Dalton's now just informed me that he's going to use the Combat Interrupt, whatever it's called, to fight with these Paladins and kill my beloved Kharn the Betrayer.
Yep, so these 5 strikes up here are going to try and interrupt and fight the Berserkers there. I'm also going to spend some CP on the Devastating Wounds strat, just to make sure they really stick.
Yep.
So there are 5 of them there, they get 3 attacks apiece.
Sounds reasonable.
They'll be hitting on 3s, and then they will be devastating wounding on 6s. Alright, a lot of 1s there, unfortunately. But not terrible. That was a 5 before I knocked it over. Alrighty.
And wounding on 3s, looking
Strength
for 6s.
6, we're looking for 6s. Not a single 6.
Wow, not much in the way of 3s either.
Wow, yeah. Just a 4, minus 2.
So you be 5-up saves on the Berserkers. They all get through, and I didn't give myself the 6-up Feel No Pain. I went for the Advance and Charge on my Blessings of Khorne this time.
So Kharn will stand alone.
Kharn stands alone. That is exactly where he belongs, because if you didn't kill those Berserkers, he was probably going to do it himself.
That's fair.
So, whoops. That is 4 dead Berserkers. Now we've got about 1 billion attacks to roll, so we'll resolve them off camera, and we'll hit you guys with a summary in a sec.
1 combat left to do.
Yes, there's been lots of blood spilled, so we killed the Inceptors down there, we killed the Strikes, the ones that killed Kharn's boys. Kharn got vengeance, took them out. Contemptors here killed the remaining Paladins. Bloodletters stole that Bloodthirster's kill and took down the Dread Knight. The Terminators down the back there got hit by the Lord of Skulls and the Khorne Berserkers and cleaned them up. And there's one more combat here that we wanted to resolve for you on camera, because he's probably one of my most beloved things to roll out, and that is the Master of Executions with the Berserker's Glaive. So this lad in here has got 6 attacks, and he gains D3 to his attacks and damage characteristic from his relic, of which we roll a 3, so that's +2 to his attacks and damage. Now, he's going to be hitting you on 2s with rerolls, because you've got a character in the unit. So with rerolls.
That's good, because there's a lot of 1s there.
Yeah. And he does have sustained hits on for his Blessings of Khorne. And then he is going to be wounding you on 3s Because you're neg 1 to wound, or is that only the paladins?
Only if you got strength. Only the paladins.
Yeah, okay. So he's be wounding on 3s, but I'm going to spend a CP to make it wounding on 2s.
Very nice.
And he's going to get reroll wounds, and 6s do devastating wounds.
Cool.
So we're going to keep that 6, and then we're going to be greedy, and we're just going to fish, try to get more. Okay, so that's 3 that go through. No saves of any kind allowed.
Yep.
Which means that's 3 dead.
Yep.
And then you've got 6 saves to make for me.
AP.
It's AP 2, so these would be 4 up saves.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
1,
6,
2,
7
3,
dead.
4, 5, 6. So that one
Kills the
glaive
unit.
guy just goes in and kills the entire unit.
Beautiful.
That Master of Executions, with the changes to devastating wounds, did hurt him a little bit, but he is still an absolute beat stick. I love him. So that's the unit gone. So that's actually a tabling. But as we said before, they're all going to come back. Let's see whether or not you can get Angron with that banishment. Alrighty, third blast of white light.
Getting
Tell us what's up.
Getting a bit of deja vu coming in again with the whole army. So this time we need to put Angron down for good. We've gone too hard before, we've killed him. We haven't gone hard enough and failed to banish him. So we're going to try and find that nice little bit of balance in there. The Grand Master in the Dread Knight is standing up once again to try and bring him down. But this time he's made sure to have another Dread Knight and Paladins back there. Going to try and chip some damage off him in shooting. And then charge in. Just whittle him down a little bit. I'm actually going to try and use his full rerolls to hit wound and for damage specifically, just to try and like really control how much damage I'm putting through. So we'll see how that plays out. Over here we have 10-man strike squad and a 5-man Terminator squad eyeing up these Bloodletters and Bloodthirster. This Dread Knight here backing up this one, as well as eyeing up this Brass Scorpion. All the Paladins kicking in here as well to go into whatever Bloodthirster they're needed at. 2 squads of 5 Interceptors and a squad of 5 Strikes trying to take down this one up here. Then the 10-man squad of Terminators teleporting back in there, hoping to, alongside the other 10 Interceptors there, take down another Bloodthirster. If we can knock down 2 or even 3 of them this turn, it would be pretty premium. That's pretty much it. We have the Purgation squad jumping in, actually outside of 9 of them outside of the center. The flanks have been left open a little bit, and they can maybe take a good chunk out of these Berserkers. So while we are on camera, I'm going to roll out for you the attacks into Angron with the Dread Knight, see how much damage I can take off.
Shoot me.
Alright, so we're going to start with the Gatling Silencer. It's 12 shots, sustain hits 1, hitting on 3s, strength 6, no AP, 1 damage. Hitting on 3s. Sustain hits 1 on these 2, which is good because these are all misses.
So, that was atrocious.
Yeah. These dice available now at shop.bulkforbloodgod.com. Strength 6, so 5s to wound. Or 6s to wound.
Strength 6, did you say?
Yep.
5s.
Just the 1.
And then I have a 2-up armor save.
Yep. And then we have the Heavy Psy Cannon, which is 6 shots, also hitting on 3s. That's much better. This is strength 10, so still 5s. Just the 1, but this is AP 1, so you'll be sitting on 3s. Yep, you good?
All good, so no damage
Alrighty.
done there.
No damage done there.
Angron is a tough boy.
Yep, we're going to throw some more shooting into him, see if we can whittle him down a little bit, but then we'll be back for charges and combat, see if we can finally banish him once and for all.
Alrighty, Dalton, some decent shooting there. Run us through.
Yeah, so shooting went alright. I did end up knocking 4 wounds off Angron, so he is looking a little bit beat up, so I'm going to have to try and come in and banish him off properly. A lot of just like cleaning up little bits and pieces. Picked up the Flesh Hounds down in here, picked up a bunch of these Bloodletters, although they did then Blood Surge into the Terminators up there. The Purgation squad picked off about half the squad of Berserkers. They Blood Surged towards them, but didn't do a whole lot. Angron did Blood Surge, but rolled about a 1, so
Yep.
didn't get very far. The shooting over here picked up Khan, just took him out of the equation entirely. So that was pretty good. And that was really about it. I didn't want to risk too much blood surging, so I didn't want to shoot into any of the big stuff that was right next to me. Yeah. We do...
Did you want to roll some charges?
We do want to roll some charges. So the big one's this one in here. The Dread Knight Grandmaster is going to charge Angron.
Which it is only like a 4-inch charge, but you never know.
Yep, you never know.
You never know.
Let's see if we can put it through.
Yep.
That'll do it with the 6.
That'll do it, yep. Cool. And then you wanted to do...
The next Dread Knight needing another 2 or 3 into the Brass Scorpion in here. Double ones won't do it. So I think
can you CP it?
I will use my CP on that. There we go. A 4 will do it.
Just.
So only just.
And then you need like a 5 for those strikes into the Bloodthirster.
Into this Bloodthirster here. Yeah. This was the main reason the Dread Knight had to move, is so these guys could actually get past it.
Yeah.
Going in. Also double ones. I don't think they make it in with that.
No, they do
and
not.
I've used my CP reroll, so they are just going to kind of sit there out in the open.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. We'll make a few more charges off camera. A lot of these are auto-passing, like just a couple of inches. So we'll make those, move them in, and we'll be back for the big fight with Angron over here with the Grandmaster.
Dalton, charge phase.
Charge phase went well. This one failed, but everything else got into where it needed to. So both Dread Knights have moved in, the Paladin squad, and jumped into this Bloodthirster here. And the big Terminator squad multi-charged both Bloodthirsters, with the 10-man Interceptor squad also charging the other one.
Yep.
Swinging big here, trying to really put a lot of hurt on. Unfortunately, there was no way to avoid getting into contact with the Khorne Berserkers there, so Master of Executions will get to fight first.
Correct.
But hopefully I can make a few more 4-up saves this time round.
Yep.
This Bloodthirster up here got hit by 15 Marines, 5 strikes, and 2 squads of 5 Interceptors. So again, 10 of them can take a good chunk out of them. Hopefully 15 is the magic number to just put them right down. So we will roll out the Master of Executions, because that happens first. Then we're going to roll out into Angron, see if we can end this game right here.
Now, because the Master of Executions didn't declare a charge this turn, instead of getting D3, he just gets +1.
Okay.
From his relic. But he is still hitting on 2s with rerolls.
Very nice.
He got no sustained hits this time.
Yep.
Disappointing. He's still winning on... I'll spend the CP to win on 2s.
Yep.
With rerolls. I'm going to keep that 6.
Yep. Fish for more 6s.
Fish for more 6s.
Nothing.
So that's just somewhat disappointing, but that's still 1 dead, because it goes up to 3 damage. So that's 1 dead Paladin, and then you've got me 5 saves to make.
Alrighty, 4-up invulns. Failing 2.
So he killed 3 on his own. Yep. That's not too shabby.
That'll be alright.
Not as much as he did last time. He killed 7 last time, but still.
Yep.
So I'll remove those 3 if you want to get the dice ready for the Nemesis Dread Knight Grandmaster into...
Absolutely. I've got those here ready to go.
And Gron.
So
this could be the end of the game, depending on how you go with your banish
It could be. So I'm using his ability, built-in ability, to reroll all hits, wounds, and damage rolls. And I'm spending 2 CP, which only costs me 1 because it's a Grandmaster, on the making all his attacks devastating wounds as well.
Yeah.
So
Angron's
hopefully
currently sitting on 12. I think he's on 12 wounds remaining.
12 wounds remaining.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can use the rerolls not just to put damage through, but to control how much goes through, bring him down to a very manageable level, and then actually put him down for good.
Alright, let's see what happens.
5 attacks, hitting on 3s with full rerolls. That's pretty good already. Alright, so there's 1 miss there, which I think I'm okay with. They are going to be wounding on 5s, because they're only strength 10. So they're wounding on 5s with full rerolls, 6s are devastating wounds.
Yeah.
A couple of 6s are good because it just removes variability on save rolls. No 6s, but 1 wound normally with full rerolls here.
Yep.
Alright, 1 6 here is nice because it just lets me control what's happening. They have 2 6s.
2 6s.
Okay, so these are devastating wounds going through, and they get resolved after the rest of the attacks.
Correct. So I'm going to roll my save here.
Yep.
Which I
Pass it.
passed. So that's going to be 2d6 damage.
Yep.
And you can re-roll the damage result.
I can re-roll the damage results. I'm going to roll them 1 at a time because technically that's how you're supposed to do it when you're re-rolling.
Yep.
And I want to drop him, but not kill him. So the first one is a 5. So he's got 12.
So even if you roll a 6 on the next one,
he can't die.
Can't die.
Excellent.
But you want to roll high, so that's a 9.
9.
So now on those 2d6 roll, you need to beat a 3.
Yep. So I've dropped Angron down to 3 wounds.
Oh, I get the
we
distinct
go.
feeling he's about to get banished.
So as long as I roll higher than a 3, so I need to roll a 4 or higher.
Roll them 1 at a time. One at a
First
time.
one. He's gone. He's done. There we go. It's
Done
a 7.
deal.
That's
That
it. Angron is banished.
Angron has been banished.
Would you allow me to do the honors?
Yeah, you may do the honors.
All right. Off he goes.
Womp womp.
Banished properly.
Well,
that is it.
yeah, no, good game, my friend.
That is good game. The World of Armageddon certainly in a state.
It's
There's
definitely a lot of cleaning up to do. But,
this definitely isn't the end of the First War for Armageddon, but one of the major threats has been eliminated, and the Demon Primarch Angron won't be slinking back out of the warp for many centuries to come while he reforges.
All right, we'll hit you guys with a total game summary, and we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed that absolute bloodbath of a battle. Third battle in the first war for Armageddon, and it for the first time didn't go the way the world leaders wanted it to go.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. It's just an absolute bloodbath. It was like almost 2 tablings of the Grey Knights.
Yeah.
But just keeping on teleporting back into the middle, a bit of persistence, a bit of finesse, it all paid off.
Yeah. And they got that banishment on Angron. They undershot on the first one, then they overshot on the next one, but they fine-tuned their technique. They got the ritual banishment down, and he's off to the warp for 100 years. He's in the doghouse. So,
Yep.
yeah, that was a really, really interesting game. Were there any particular highlights for yourself?
Yeah, look, it was really interesting to watch it play out. The Wolf Lord over here just sticking around way longer than he had any right to.
Yeah.
Just standing up to the Khorne demons and all of the 8-bound that coming towards him was pretty cool. The Grandmaster dueling and absolutely whiffing into the Bloodthirster was pretty funny.
It was actually quite cinematic. Like,
Yeah.
you picture it like, you know, when you see like superheroes dueling and they're just blocking each other like flat out, and no one's ever actually landing that lethal blow. That's how I picture it happening.
It was the ideal models for it too. You've got the Bloodthirster with the axe
Yeah.
and the Grandmaster with the sword bracing up against it. It was pretty sweet. What about you?
That was cool. I mean, highlights for me, I was a huge fan of the Master of Executions.
Always a good model.
Him
Always
going in
does
and just
absolutely
killing,
amazing
like,
things.
I think he killed a total of 11.
Killed
Paladins?
seven round 1, 3 the next round.
So 10 paladins, like that's insane. He's cool, but just an excuse to get all these models on the table.
Yeah,
It's always
there hasn't
exciting.
been a time I haven't looked at the table throughout the filming of this and gone, wow, this is what I got into Warhammer for.
Yeah.
Like when I was 12 years old and I was seeing it in the White Dwarf magazines, going, oh wow, this is the stuff I want to do. This is what I imagined it being, and this is amazing. Yeah, this is really cool.
Really, really powerful feel on me because some of these berserkers I actually painted when I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
So, like seeing them, they've made it all the way to this battle is fantastic. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. Belton, do you want to tell us a little bit about Risky Rollers, the channel that you're from?
So I'm sure you've seen me around before on this channel, and if you haven't caught Dean as well, he comes on our channel semi-regularly as well. We do battle reports, podcasts, and coverage of events. Go check out Risky Rollers, linked in the description below. We do also run loads of events. I think we probably run the most in Victoria.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We run those down there. You can always check those out at the Risky Rollers events Facebook page. All of the upcoming news and events and everything that's posted on there. It's the best place to watch them all. We've got a bunch of cool stuff coming up, including the Risky Rollers Open on Melbourne Cup weekend in 2024, which will be Victoria's first 8-round event. So running it as I think it makes it a super major or a major.
Yeah, it depends on the number of attendees, but yeah, I think you'll get the super major status.
We've got the capacity for it. We've got the venue sorted out for it and the dates. Melbourne Cup weekend next year. Make sure to be there for that.
Yep.
Otherwise, thank you for having me on here. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the Grey Knights and seeing such an epic game played out.
So we've got one more video to take place in this Battle Report series, and it's going to be the most epic of them all.
It's going to be insane.
We've tried to ramp up the scale each time, and in this last one, it's actually going to be a 4-way battle, because the way that the narrative progresses from here is that Angron has been banished, and as a result, the World Eaters fall to infighting. They basically, they get broken apart, and they're getting cleansed and pushed out from the planet. But then the Grey Knights decide that they need to purge the minds of everybody on this planet because they can't let them know about the demonic nature of chaos.
Yeah, you've seen demons. Well, you can't have seen demons because demons don't exist. We don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And if you keep talking about it or even thinking about it, we're going to have to use some of those mind bullets on you.
Yeah.
So
basically what happens is the Grey Knights decide that they're gonna mind wipe the entire population of the planet.
And by mind wipe, we mean brutally murder.
Yes. And the Space Wolves are just like, you fucking what?
Yeah.
And they end up going to infighting themselves. So now you've got the World Eaters fighting themselves. You've got the Space Wolves fighting against the Grey Knights, one of the first Imperium on Imperium conflicts since the Horus Heresy. Like, it's very unheard of. So
it was one of the first real big ones. It was a massive concern for the Inquisition. There was a whole... We'll talk about it more next time. There's a huge thing about it.
So yeah, we've got Grey Knights versus Space Wolves, World Eaters versus World Eaters, and then there's all the lonely guardsmen in the middle just going, what the fuck?
Yep.
And they're just shooting at anything that moves. They don't know whether have the Space Wolves been turned by Chaos? Have the Grey Knights been turned by Chaos? Have they been turned? They don't know.
Yep.
So basically what we're going to do is a nice, epic, 4-way battle.
It's going to be sweet.
We're going to bring all 4 of the armies that you've seen so far, and they're all going to be on the table at once. And it's going to be fucking
wild.
hectic, guys. So be sure to stay tuned for that one, because it's going to be spicy.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see you then, guys.
Walk for the Blood God.
The Warhammer community suffers from some of the most prohibitively expensive essentials in the world, especially Australian content creators. Every single day, Dean wants to create content, but he can't. Suffering from old, worn-out brushes, expensive model kits, and costly software and equipment he can't endure much longer. Just look at this dirty paint water. Would you drink this? Would you let your child? Even a small monthly donation can help provide Dean with clean paint water, basic tools for survival, and access to life-saving information and education. So please, follow the links in the description below and find out how you can sponsor a mad cunt like Dean today and end the suffering. Suffering that is cruel, unsustainable,